Hey everybody, this is Wakia here. Just came back to, I don't want to give you a moment's rest on the holidays. We don't want you getting too much into Christmas and all that bullshit. Just thought I'd come on and I just got off the streets here doing a little urban tracking. It's insane out there. I had to go out, unfortunately, to get some groceries, and it's like last minute Christmas, oh my God. Just insane. People are like lemmings. No shit. They don't know what they're doing. They're just like, oh, they're in a friggin' daze, man. I'm just like in and out, when I go to the store. Anyway, did I say this was Wakia? Probably. It's one of those kind of days. I'm just thinking spur of the moment stuff, off the top of my head. I hope everybody got the link to Putin's speech and enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It's just refreshing to watch somebody intelligent, not some moron, But I'm telling you, man, we're liable to get dusted here pretty soon the way things are going. I don't know. Seems that way sometimes, then other times it seems like snafu, situation normal, all up. Bleep. But I hope you enjoyed Putin's speech. And I noticed that I saw a little article today, saw a couple articles, one by PCR, Paul Craig Roberts. I think it was entitled something about, are they going to let a bunch of black swans loose? Yeah, I think so, Paul. I haven't read it yet, but it should be interesting. The Russians will retaliate against this latest sanction thing. At least I think there was a latest sanction thing. You never know. Sanctions against Crimea. That's kind of a sore spot with Putin. He won't let it pass. Something's just going to pop up out of nowhere. Everything I said so far that I speculated on, so far I've got a pretty good track record here. Most of the stuff I talked about, like the oil going down because of the fracking things, all playing out to be true, and the machinations of the outlaws, are their modus operandi is still progressing along, although I think they're confused a bit, but maybe more in a bit. But you can expect some kind of retaliatory measures from Russia, I think, in the near future. And then I saw another thing, get this, that they found that the nuclear weapons in our arsenal need to be upgraded, or there's problems technically with them, and they've been reporting it for years, and oh really? That's good. That's good. Let's disarm all the nukes, That could be a ploy, though, too, to make Russia think that, our nukes aren't that good. You never know, see? When you read something like that, hell, you never know what, who put that story out and what reason they put it out. It's all controlled. What about the Big O saying that he's going to do retaliatory measures against North Korea for hacking into some Hollywood, remember I talked about that before? You got to be kidding me. Now I know it's a complete orchestration, people. It's an NLP trick they're pulling here. Number one, just reason this out, okay? If North Korea could hack into some secure database, Hollywood, if they could do that and shut down a picture, okay, a motion picture, which makes millions and millions of dollars, why don't they just hack into our, I mean, who says they couldn't hack into anything? The banking systems, I mean, if they can do that, see, it doesn't make any sense because they'd be doing that already. They'd be hacking into our, defense system computers and all kinds of shit. Our financial computers. If they were that good, so this is a bogus story, I believe, just like all the rest of them. Come on, spare me. We're gonna, now we're gonna retaliate. Must have been that brandy I had in my coffee. Retaliate against North Korea? How? Not with sanctions. There's been sanctions against them for, 40 years? I don't know. They're completely independent. They may be poor, but they're independent. They're not they're not playing the ball game, the petrodollar ball game, the world's reserve currency, the dollar game. Yeah, they're not playing that. I haven't played it in quite some time, and I think pretty soon here Russia ain't going to be playing it either. Maybe a lot of people. We've talked about this before, haven't we? Okay, so I just think that whole thing is, come on, remember when they had that tape about the reason that Benghazi got attacked was because there was some film made about Mohammed, and that turned out to be a complete foobar. That was not true at all. That turned out to be completely false, and they went through the whole deal of arresting a guy. Nobody remembers shit like this, see? Nobody remembers 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago. That's what the problem is if you line all these ducks up in a row here, and see what went before. Tarnation. Things start adding up. Hoka hey, It's crazy. And when I went to the grocery store, I'm just jumping around today. I'm just relaxed. Give me another shot of brandy. No. Seriously, I'm just kidding about that. When I get outside, man, I went to the park a little bit, went into splatter vision, went into my tracking vision. Then I went into the other wilderness, the jungle, the urban jungle, which is going to turn into complete chaos. Wait till the shit hits the fan, if it ever does. Just a reminder, there's 35 gallons of water in your water heater. If for some reason you're out of water and everybody's running around screaming and shooting and pointing guns at one, just remember there's 35 gallons of water in every water heater in the city. Okay? So if people think they're out of water, they may not be. They may be killing people. Just thought I'd give you an old tracker. See, there's all kinds of urban tracking techniques. Okay, urban. In other words, what if everything did go down and it was freezing ass cold, and what would you do to keep warm, and what would you drink, and I'll tell you one thing right now, I'll tell you another little secret. If it ever goes down, the power, and you're in a cold place, you need to keep warm, there's all kinds of shit you can do to stay nice and crispy, even if it's freezing ass cold outside. One thing you do is you take your if you got several rooms, or if you got anything like pillows, mattresses, anything stuff like that, you just take them off the bed and line them up against the wall, okay, as insulation. And then you can stuff newspapers inside your clothes. You can stuff all kinds of things, whatever you got that's warm, scarves, whatever. You can lay between two mattresses. You can take one mattress, not the box spring, the mattress, and put it on top of the other mattress, put it in the floor. You can make a little hut in the corner with it propped up. There's all kinds of things you can do to survive in a situation where, it's a life or death situation. I'm just telling you this because of the shit I'm seeing right now. Might come to that. I think we had an X-class flare today, too, 1.8 or something. I feel those things coming. I feel the magnetic storm that comes off of those, and if you don't think it affects you, you got another thing coming, because we're all in the magnetic field, and when it hits the magnetic field, these solar storms, you're going to feel it, and if you don't feel it, well then, good, I guess. I feel it. It's rather intense. So I'm coming from kind of a tracker's perspective, and when I talked about the big picture the other day, that's a tracker's perspective. You use that perspective, that scout, that tracking, that Apache scout and tracker, and you use that mentality in everything you do, okay? Whether you're shopping or going out to the store or whatever you do. And that's why I talk about, and then you go into that special vision I taught where everything turns into patterns. You wide angle vision, splatter vision. I taught that in a video. I'm not going to teach it again. Go look it up. Dicey. I think the situation kind of looks dicey right now, don't you? Of course, it has looked dicey before. We don't want to we're not panicking. We're just, I don't ever want to do that to anybody. You always got to keep a cool head, okay? And that's the numero uno. Practicing my Spanish too. I might have to go south of the border. I live right on it, so I'd rather go north of the border, though. Maybe. Probably. I don't know, people. Just talking, having a little campfire council. That's exactly why I named the corporation, the nonprofit, Campfire Council. But just those words, campfire, having a campfire council, or a council by the campfire. Wakia's council by the campfire. That's how you have to look at this. Hey, there he is again. He might tell us something different today. He might tell us another truth. He might tell us how to survive. I hope you have plenty of self-protection too, like some kind of firearms, knife, maybe a knife collection, but good old bow and arrow, 50-pound bow, baby, or a crossbow. Just got to think about protection a little bit, maybe. You should know the martial arts, hand-to-hand combat. I've been preaching this stuff for years. I got a lot of videos on it. I just think when things get dicey, when the black swans are getting ready to fly, that's what they always call these events. that pop up out of nowhere. Actually, there's black swans happening all the time. They're kind of, only they're not really black. They're kind of like off gray, tending towards the darker side. They're precursors to black swans, okay? When you see shit like Obama telling, Korea, I hate to beat this horse till it's dead, but that's weird, man. I mean, that's Disneyland, okay? All this stuff, Cuba, the thing with Korea and this movie, right around the holidays too. It's all a cluster, you know what? It's all part of the plan, people. It's all orchestrated. The stuff you see like that. Some of the stuff is unorchestrated or hit and miss. And really, some of these things are, like I said before, like, razor's edge type shit. See, I told you I was going to mess up your holiday. We don't want you getting too complacent around the holidays because, you'd be surprised, but all the stuff that happens, like executive orders and big changes in the scenery, usually happens around a holiday weekend or when everybody's mind's occupied on something else. That's when they slip in new legislation and covert actions and all this different stuff. I kind of liken it to people are walking into an ambush, only they've already been ambushed. You know what I mean? It's like, you're riding along on your, Palomino or whatever horse you have, paint or whatever, and you're looking around and looking at the scenery, but you're not looking at the bluffs up there, the guys on the ridge with a Winchester 73 aimed at your head. Ready for an ambush, ready to pull the trigger. I think that's what they want to do. I think they want to pull the trigger on mankind. I think they want to... it's a self-destructive lot we have here. No shit, huh? Really? A self-destructive bunch of idiots. But it's not their fault. I always have to put that caveat in there. I don't want to get cards and letters. Gee, what else do I want to talk about that's useless? Well, I did meet some people today in the park, some martial artists. You talk to them and they go, yeah, the shit's getting ready to hit the fan. They know, the serious ones. Be in tracker's mind, be in a tracker's mode. Look at everything, look at the big picture, look at or you could just throw your hands up and say, screw it. Whatever happens, happens. That's cool too. It's a form of non-attachment. I just come on here to entertain myself. Just kidding. I don't know. I guess I just come on here to make sure everybody's on top of it, and not getting complacent. Of course, there is an argument for complacency. I mean, there is an argument, not complacency, there's an argument for like relaxing and just saying, let it play out. And that's really, I mean, isn't that all we can do? It's the watching of the playing out of the chess game. Like I told my son, it's like watching a chess game. And when you used to watch people from Russia and America compete, and other countries in these chess matches, I remember those a long time ago. It was interesting. They had their little, stop clock for each move and all that stuff. Man, what I'm seeing now is just exactly like, that's how you have to look at it. You have to look at it like you're sitting in the audience and you're watching this guy move here and this other guy move here. And you know a little bit about strategy and chess, and you might be somewhat of a master yourself, but when a master's watching idiots play chess, or people that just barely know the basic rules, or making chess moves where you go, scratch your head and go, why did they do that? Why did they move, that rook or that bishop or whatever? Why did they move into that? I don't see the logic in that. That's what it's like when we watch these bozos in the West compete with I won't call them masters. Well, maybe they are, why not? They seem to be. It'll all come out in the wash, It'll all come out in the wash. That's an old saying. Once the wash is done and you look at it and, this turbulent washing machine and clothes dry or wherever you go down to the creek and wash, after you get done, you look at it, that's what it is. It's clean or not clean, maybe rubbed a few holes in it, or maybe you just lost the whole goddamn wash down this creek. That's kind of what I see. But it'll all come out in the wash, people. Okay, I just thought I'd come in here. Like I said, I just walked in the door. And I figured I was invigorated enough to jump on the computer instead of just lazing out, kicking back, which I'm going to do now, by the way. So I'll say adios, vaya con Dios, and walk the red road. Wakia, over and out.